Hello, welcome to my three-part series where I'm going to be dealing with how do you really create a course that is able to stand out in our already saturated niche. As I said earlier on in the other video, that really there isn't any niche that you can say is not saturated. And of course, we have the issue of gurus who are having access to free traffic. We have all these influencers with a lot of free traffic. And so what do we do? How do we get hard? How do we get profitable? That is what I want to address in this three-part series. I'm going to be doing part one, and hopefully after this, I will be able to do part two. So you are welcome. I'm quite excited. I'll jump right into this, that the very first thing that you need to do is you need to really niche down. You need to really niche down. I mean, if you want to be profitable with your offer, if you want to be profitable with your course, then you really need to niche down. Why? Because if you try to market your offer to a broad audience, that's one of the things that's really going to, to completely put you on a disadvantage against these so-called internet celebrities. So if you got a bunch of free traffic, then sure, you can go broad and you can go general. And of course, in that way, people are going to buy your stuff because they know you, they like you, and they trust you. So for that reason, they'll buy whatever you tell them to buy. But if you don't have that, then you have to pay for traffic, because then how are you going to get people to listen to you? And this is when you have to pay for ads. Now, if you go to pay for ads, then you need to be super niched down, because now you need to begin thinking about the person who is seated behind the keyboard that has the problem that you solve. You must begin thinking about that person who is seated behind that keyboard that has a problem that you solve. And in other words, begin to think about what is it that they are typing in Google, or they are typing into YouTube to find the answer to that problem. So let's give an example. Let's think of this example. If they are parents of, say, a teenager who has anger management issues, what is it that they are going to be typing into Google? What is it that they're going to be typing into YouTube to find solutions to that? Do you think they're going to be typing things like maybe parenting tips, or they're going to be typing things that is like, okay, that will be dealing with teens with anger issues? Obviously, you'll agree with me that they're going to be typing things that deals with teens with anger issues. So believe me, they are not going to be typing parental issues. They are not going to be Googling that kind of stuff. They are going to try to find a specific solution to a specific problem. So if your offer is a generic offer, meaning you are trying to market to everybody for all types of situations, the truth of the matter is people do not want a general solution to a specific problem, because that particular example we are talking about, of course, that parent may not know you. That parent is not interested in who he or she knows, but what is they are interested in that specific solution. Tips to deal with, to help teens with anger management. They are going to try to be specific. So it is going to be very difficult for you to market to a general solution when, as in, you market a general solution to a specific problem. It's not going to work. So you need a specific solution to a specific problem. So this is the first thing which we must get right. If you want to be able to stand out, you want to create a course that's able to stand out, that's able to be profitable. If you want to make sense, if you don't have, and then of course you want to make sense, but you don't have free audience that is bringing free traffic, then you need to be seriously niched down. You need to be the one that is offering a very specific solution, because that is what people are going to get. That's what's going to get people's interest. So when they see what you're offering, when they see you and they don't know you, what is going to get their interest is going to be your specific solution to their specific problem. So that is what is going to cause them to click and to shake you out. Unfortunately, some of my many friends that I know still struggle with it, with this idea. And the truth is, almost every new coach struggles with this concept right away. Especially, I've always counted the ones of life coaching, because life coaching is a massive category. You could do hundreds of different things within life coaching. So if you say you're just a life coach and you help people in life, that's not going to work. Even if you say you're a transformational life coach, so because you are taking on huge topics. I mean, transformational life coaching could deal with divorce, could deal with going back to school, starting a business, finding a life partner, all those huge topics. So that kind of thing is so broad, and nobody will know what you are speaking to, because you don't have a specific solution to a specific problem. So my first point to us today is that if we a dream of creating a course that is going to stand out, which we need to, because then we cannot be profitable. So if we dream to create a course that is profitable, then the first thing that we must do, the first point for us to do, is to make sure that our offer is very specific and to a very specific, offering a specific solution to a very specific problem. Okay, so do not be so broad, because nobody will know what you're speaking to. Nobody will know what you're speaking about, because you don't have a specific solution to a specific problem. Now, I'm not saying that you can't do multiple things. Again, get me right. But what I'm saying is that with your messaging, we need to start in one place. So we need to start from one place. And now, as you branch out, then of course, don't redo your messaging, but you can create another message for another audience, so that you are targeting these different segments of the audience with specific messages. So if you're doing multiple things, don't forget that. So let me try to bring this home so that we really understand. I want to give an example. Okay, let's think about this. My first example, let's think about this from the point of writing an ad. If you are writing an ad and you want someone to see, so that they can stop when they're scrolling through Facebook, you want someone to see it, and then it stops them. Okay, it gets them to stop, to click on it and read it and take action. If you are going to think about writing that kind of ad, that ad is going to need to speak to a very specific problem. It needs to speak to their fears. It needs to speak to their challenges. It needs to speak to the particular goals that they have and that they want to achieve. They need to read that copy on that ad and start thinking that, this person knows exactly what's going on in my mind. They must be able to be convinced. Why? Because now you're joining the conversation that they are already having in their mind. They're already having with themselves in their mind. And so there is no way you would do such a kind of thing, just a broad offer. There's no way you're going to survive in that kind of way with just a broad offer. It has to be really narrow, so that you know what those things are with your audience, so that you can speak to their challenges, you can speak to their fears, you can speak to their desires, you can speak to their goals. So you can, in that way, once you're very specific and you're niched down, then you can craft your messaging in a very powerful way to get them to take action, and now for them to get to also be convinced that this person knows what they're talking about. That is a specific solution to a specific problem. Remember, we are saying the first thing for us to survive, the first thing to do if we dream to survive, if we dream to be profitable, is we go to niche down. But the problem is this. Number one fear that people always have is, when you talk about niching down, then I'm going to miss on sales. I'm missing out on potential customers. Now, here is the thing you have to keep in mind. There are 7 figures to be made per year in any sub niche. There is already, not there will be, there is already 7 figures to be made in any particular sub niche. So that is the first example. The second example, as I conclude with this, is let's consider the market of luxury cars, that niche of luxury cars. Do you think that these guys are there afraid, saying, oh my goodness, this niche is so small, we are not going to be able to make money with it? Do you think that is how they reason? No, because no, there are multiple, actually, there are still multiple companies out there. There are the Ferraris, the Lamborghinis, and they're still there. There's a bunch of luxury car manufacturers that are selling their cheapest car maybe at $200,000, and yet they're still making millions upon millions of profit every year. So it's a matter of niching down to find that customer that you can help right now to get a result. Niche down if you dream to be profitable. Niche down. So this is the first point that we go to consider if we are going to stand out. This is where we begin from. This is where we need to start from if we dream to succeed. So I will be talking about part 2, but I am really looking forward to your response on this so that we can have a conversation. Tomorrow, I will be giving part 2.